Think of a romantic poet. You picture an artist wandering through untouched forests, obsessing over rolling hills, pristine lakes, and rocky peaks. William Wordsworth is the absolute definition of that archetype. He is literally known to history as the poet of nature. But on the morning of September 3rd, 1802, he wrote something highly unusual. He penned a sonnet with a massive claim. Earth has not anything to show more fair. He means there's nothing more beautiful on the planet. But he isn't staring at a forest. He's on Westminster Bridge, looking squarely at 19th century London. He insists that anyone who could walk past this sprawling, man-made industrial hub without being moved would be dull of soul. Why would the ultimate nature lover be so captivated by concrete and commerce? The answer comes down to timing. Wordsworth is viewing the city through a very narrow window, a brief moment that strips away the industrial grime to reveal a different version of London entirely. What he captures in Composed upon Westminster Bridge is how a simple shift in perspective can take a chaotic industrial machine and, for just an hour or two, disguise it as a pristine natural wonder. It is early dawn. This is the precise hour before the factories fire their furnaces and thousands of coal hearths are lit. Wordsworth specifically notes that the city is resting in smokeless air. For 19th century London, a sky without thick, choking smog is incredibly rare. The absence of that defining cloud instantly removes the city's oppressive industrial character. Without that haze, London is silent and bare. Stripped of the noise and the crowds, the raw, underlying architecture is suddenly fully visible. To process this strangely pristine sight, Wordsworth turns to specific poetic devices, starting with a powerful simile. Looking out at the sunrise, he writes, "This city now doth like a garment wear, the beauty of the morning." This personification has an immediate psychological effect. London takes on a pulse. It breathes, wrapping itself in the morning light like a piece of clothing rather than remaining a cold collection of bricks and mortar. By giving the city a body and a choice of wardrobe, Wordsworth grants it the exact same breathing dignity and majesty that he usually reserves for untouched oceans and wild forests. Once London becomes a living subject, the poem begins to intentionally blur the lines between human engineering and the natural world. He catalogues the urban skyline, admiring the ships, towers, domes, theaters, and temples. Look at structures like St. Paul's Cathedral. In the quiet dawn, its massive dome and towers take on a monumental, almost mountain-like scale. Unobstructed by the usual smog, these massive structures seem to stretch right out into the surrounding countryside, lying open unto the fields and to the sky. He even looks down at the River Thames. Normally, it's a crowded, dirty commercial highway, but this morning it glideth at his own sweet will, flowing freely as if it were an undiscovered wild stream. The sun hits this urban geometry in its first splendor, treating a tiled roof or a stone tower with the exact same reverence it gives to a distant valley or rock. Wordsworth hasn't abandoned his love of nature at all. He has simply reprogrammed his eyes to see these grand stone buildings as just another type of terrain resting quietly beneath the morning sun. This unique alignment of sunlight, silence, and architecture brings Wordsworth to an emotional climax. He confesses to feeling a calm so deep that he had never experienced before. The psychological weight of this piece comes entirely from the viewer's awareness of what happens next. The stillness is beautiful precisely because it is fragile and entirely temporary. This leads directly to the poem's final defining metaphor, and all that mighty heart is lying still. That mighty heart is the busy city life. It's the immense trade, the millions of waking people, and the inevitable chaotic kinetic energy that is just moments away from erupting. Seeing it lying still reveals a massive store of potential energy. It is the awe-inspiring quiet power of a sleeping giant taking a single deep breath before waking up to work. It's an experience you can easily recreate today. If you walk through a bustling modern city an hour before the rush begins, you see the exact same empty streets and silent towers. Majestic beauty exists in the very places we live and work, if we are willing to change our perspective and look before the mighty heart starts beating again.